Yeah, yeah, sure. Thank you. Uh, yeah, I made some notes. To respond to a few things. In Genesis 49, as Steve was quoting, I believe that's the very first occurrence of a reference to any such thing as a latter days prediction of the end time. That the identities and the locations of all 12 of these sons would be obvious. And to me, the idea of it being obvious is more and more every day. And the end times, I have no desire to bring them about. That could be a very terrible, terrible situation. It could also be a very terrible miracle and miraculous situation.
Okay, you have a couple of kids to raise in the meantime anyway.
Bingo. That's right.
So you'd like that end times to be put off a little bit. Yeah, let them grow a little. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I also wanted to make one more word of encouragement. Maybe if I can encourage at all, I don't know. But there are 12 tribes, and actually I may have learned this from Rabbi Feld. There's 12 tribes, and they individually crossed the Red Sea. 12 cultures, 12 separate perspectives. That's 12 opportunities for conflict. Thank you, Yair Davidiy, for being. You've got the gift of patience with all 12 of these perspectives, at least. Okay. And I think that's okay. I think to know that all 12 cultures and 12 understandings are diverse, and we can be fearless with each other. It's okay.
Okay, Mark. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'll
Very
see
good.
You. Hashem, may God bless you. May the God of Israel bless you and your family in every way. Sylvia, would you like to say something?
I want to say thank you to Rabbi Feld for his words of appreciation. I haven't heard that kind of thing before. And sometimes when you feel alone out here, it's nice to know that somebody notices and that you're doing the right thing. You're convinced you're doing the right thing because God called you, but to have a Jewish person extend appreciation, it's wonderful.
Okay.
It's
Thanks a lot. Chechi, will you say something, please?
I don't know if she can hear. It says mute there.
Chechi, where have you gone?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something we're just saying, in general?
I wish I had dressed like all the rest of the participants. I'm still in my pajamas and robe.
Okay.
Well, your pajamas look beautiful. They're elegant.
We're just glad you're here. I'm glad there's another lady here.
I only wanted to say, I think the United States, being the most exalted, successful nation in the world, that we represent Ephraim, and I'm probably of Ephraim. My forebears came from England and Wales, and it doesn't matter, Ephraim or Manasseh, we are of the 12 tribes, and I am so happy to be associated with those who recognize the importance of the regathering. I'm just afraid of the wars which are predicated to fall upon us. And so I hope that the Messiah is stood up fairly soon to lead Israel, because Israel's victory will be the United States' victory as well, as long as we stay allies.
Amen. Praise God.
Good. David.
Oh, yeah, hi. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm still invisible.
Okay. You want to say something anyway?
Yes, I will. I want to, first of all, thank you to both of you. From my viewpoint, this is part of a kind of a rekindling in my own life, which I won't explain now, in my desire to serve the Almighty and to understand his will. And this whole area, which I've known about all my life, is hidden from so many people, from everybody, really. So I'm very grateful that you're doing this.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Okay, John, you got a few more words to say?
Yes, I'll just a few words. Just a comment, first of all, on Mark's point about Genesis 9:49. There are some people who believe in a principle called the law of first mention. That when something appears in the Bible, for the first time, then it's more significant. And funny enough, that the last days, that's the first mention of it in the Bible, to my knowledge. Going back to Yair, I mean, you've done a tremendous amount of work over the years, Yair, and I must congratulate you on the fact you've stayed with us. I don't know how many years you've been doing it. You said to me that you perhaps picked this up from your mother or something many years ago. It's tremendous that you've actually done all this, and the books you've written and the research you've done.
I picked it up from my father, you could say.
Right, okay. But the research you've done, and it's, people talk about, the concept of the 10 tribes, but you've put meat on the bones, with your research, particularly into, I've read your book on Ephraim, for example, and where the Anglo-Saxons came, where Angle comes from and stuff like this. It's really tremendous stuff. And thank you, Rabbi Feld, for coming along and sharing your points of view with us as well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Steve, can you
Yes.
give us some a little bit more of what you were saying before?
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Can you look at the camera a bit more?
That's chess.
We have another joiner. Did you notice?
Just a
There's
second.
another
person.
Yeah.
A couple of people, but something's wrong. It doesn't matter. Keep going, Steve. We'll get
all right.
Next time round. We'll meet up with everyone.
All right. Well, I covered some questions of who, what, when is the Almighty calling us? What time are we in? The time of the calling of the 10 tribes in the latter days. I want to say something about that the Almighty has led me to find out. In Isaiah 40, it's an amazing thing when I came upon this. And I want to underscore here the matter of studying and learning. One of how I arrived at this, how all of you have arrived at where you're at, maybe not exactly the same way, because our particular walks are different. We all come from different places, different experiences. And one nice day, while I was praying, something popped in my head, and it was a reference in Second Samuel 5:16, and for the longest time I didn't know what to do with this, and why did this pop into my head? It says in 5:16, it says that 5:13, David took him more concubines and wives in Jerusalem, and he was come from Hebron, and he had more sons and daughters. Now, then it lists the names of these sons, and then 5:16 says, and Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphalet. But what was I going to do with this? Like a knucklehead, it didn't occur to me for a long time that I should look up the meaning of these names. But these are the last three of David's sons. He had 12 sons born to him in Jerusalem when he moved the ark to Jerusalem. So the significance of it is this: Elishama means my God who hears, or my God who caused us to hear. It is the Almighty who caused us to hear his word. Nobody can talk us into this, as I mentioned, because nobody can talk to the dead, the spiritually dead or the physical dead. So the Almighty has given us ears to hear his calling. Our God, Eli Shammah, gives the hearing, and we need to hear God. It's also an imperative, a command to hear me, hear my God, hear him, hear God. Now, Eliada means my God who knows. Well, so Eliad has to do with knowledge, who knows. So he knows what we need to do. He knows everything. He's a creator, and he is telling us that we need to pursue his calling and know more about him. That's what he tells us in Hosea. I wish above all that you gain knowledge about your God. My God says, my God, who knows. And Eliphalet, now this was really mysterious. What am I going to do with this? And my God who causes you to escape. Where are we going to escape from? The prison houses of the Valley of Bones that we were sentenced to be in. And it is a sentence. So the reason we are talking today, the reason we know what we know is by the Almighty's grace, his grace, our God who gives us hearing, our God who gives us knowledge, our God who caused us to escape from the prison houses. Now, I want to tell you about this, an amazing word again that the Almighty has shown me. It's not, I'm not bragging here. I'm saying that I'm extolling him, that he is the one who gives us the ears to hear with. I was studying Isaiah 40, where it says, comfort you, my people, comfort you, says the Almighty. It says, speak in a comforting way, comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare, I'm reading from the King James because it's in my head, but it's you can read it in any translation, where her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she has received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins.
Amen.
You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
It's on mute.
Wait.
Charles, you have to press unmute.
Charles, you okay?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you talking from?
From Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I've had dinner with you. I've had dinner with you a couple of times in Jerusalem, and once with Rabbi Feld over 10 years ago now, I think. I don't have much time. I'm not sure when I'll have to leave here, but I just wanted to compliment you on all the work you've done.
Okay, possible.
Yes.
And in 10 years, you haven't gotten any older. You just matured. I just got older, but you got more mature.
I'm just about 80 now, so and still fighting the battle. But I just wanted to compliment you and Rabbi Feld in the work you've done. Well, I have a question. This is maybe getting beyond what you're prepared to talk about, because I know you've done a lot of work on genetics, and we do have some common genetics with Northern Ireland. And my Y-DNA comes out as Brittonic, that is pre-Gaelic. And I'm interested in, and these are, like the Welsh-speaking people who populated much of the British Isles before the Scots and the Irish arrived and then intermarried with them, like the Caledonians in Scotland and the rest. And there are many landmarks that follow these people. And my Y-DNA seems to be scattered across the British, the DNA, the British Isles. But I'm curious how this fits in with the migration of the Israelite tribes to those areas. I don't know if you've ever looked at it, because it's not, the same as the dominant Scots and Irish that came around 500, I guess, BCE, something like that. They were there apparently earlier. I don't trust all the dating that the DNA people do. I think that they put it back into beyond what is feasible. And we do know from what you've written that there are, well, maybe not unexplicable, but unrecognized major shifts in DNA. I noticed even with my relatives, my close relatives, my brother, for example, there was too much Y-DNA difference, to be explained by siblings, and the same with a cousin, So I don't know if you've ever done much work in this area. I like your book Ancestry, and some of the things you've speculated on there a bit, but there is some evidence there. So if anybody knows anything about this, and I guess there was a fellow I can't remember his name though. He goes by a pseudonym, and on your website about some of these different groups and different clans and the rest of it. But I think there's a lot more there that you don't know about. Go ahead.
Are you referring to Eric Dubelkeim?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay.
I don't like that pseudonym, but anyway, that's his choice.
Yeah, he wrote some very interesting things. Yes, he's a very valuable contributor.
Yes. I don't have the time and the energy to do all of these things, though, but I do try to keep up with what you're doing and the things that are thrown in. Occasionally, I can pick up a bit more as well. And then, of course, the whole with all the Norwegians that have kind of mixed in these areas, because I have a lot of Norwegian background as well, and they seem to have, three different prominent Y-DNAs, the R1A, R1B, and the I1. And I don't know, those are parts of different tribes or people who arrived there at different times. And another interesting thing is my mother's mitochondrial DNA, which is quite rare, like 3%. It goes back to Finland and then to Hungary, and then I find all these matches with Galician Jews. And I know my relatives in Norway would say, who lived up in the valleys there, say, we are better business than 3 Jews. We can do a better bargain, in other words. So they were quite proud of their ability to conduct business. So, and these people seem to be part of the nobility of Norway as well. So you wonder if the Galician link there is pretty significant.
Okay.
Well, you look like my grandfather and my uncle.
Yes.
Good looking too. So there, yeah. I have a little Lithuanian and Gliciano.
Yes, I have some Lithuanian in that background as well. And my mother, my mother's family, they said that her father was from Vienna, and there was a tradition that they were Jewish in the past. Had been. My
grandmother's side was from Vienna.
Yeah.
So listen, you're one of our brothers. Any way you slice the coin, you're one of our holy brothers.
Well, I've always felt the kinship, and I love the red hand. I mean, the Moore family came from County Down, I think I heard an Irish accent there earlier, but
okay, thanks a lot, Charles. And now we'll hear Steve again.
Yeah.
We'll hear Steve again for another 10 minutes, please, Steve.
Yeah.
And on our next, Steve, if you have more things to say, more than 10 minutes worth, we still have another couple of meetings in store, in plan. Yeah, so we can put them up, the rest of until then. But we want to hear what else you have to say anyway.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, sure. Thank you.
He's on mute.
You're on mute, Steve. Talk.
Unmute.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, fine.
All right. So I only have about 2-3 minutes to go. So I'm almost done with what I wanted to say.
Okay.
As I mentioned about the 3 names, David's 3 sons, those are revelations. I didn't think it up. I would never, ever, ever, never have found out what that means. It's very significant. The Almighty scholars are revelation. All his commandments are revelations. Everything that we need to know about him are revelations. And the Almighty has given that to, not just me, but to all of us here. So I want to share that with you for a reason. And I want to get to one more revelation that the Almighty has shown me in Isaiah, may I say shown us, in Isaiah 40, as I mentioned before, it says, speak comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished and that her iniquity is pardoned. Now, that word, that warfare, is that tzeva, and it has to do, it means army, but it means more than that. And I studied that word really, really deeply, because it means the Almighty is called as the captain of the host of armies. He has armies, and the Almighty is saying here, speak unto her, her warfare is accomplished. Well, when we rebelled against the Almighty, we actually declared war on him and on his heritage, the heritage of our heritage. We cast it away and went to war with him. And sure enough, we inherited war from the Assyrians. A lot of us died, and we ended up as what happens to the survivors, the losers in the war. And it has to do with this warfare. When those who partake in a war, they either die or they become terribly injured, or something else happens to them, and they become prisoners of war. So I found out that tzeva means the sentence that a prisoner of war serves out. My father was a prisoner of war in Russia because he fought on the side of the Nazis. He was captured, and he was there for a year or two, a couple of years, in a prisoner of war camp. Well, what happened to us, because we rebelled, the Almighty has given us a sentence, and that sentence was not to be up till the end of days. It says, till his warfare, his tzeva is accomplished, till it's served out, till that sentence is served out. We were not let out, and he blocks our way. It says in Hosea, you will not be able to return to me till you serve that sentence out till the latter days. So here we are. By his grace, all of us are here because the Almighty has called us out early from the prison houses in the Valley of Dry Bones.
Thank you, Steve.
That's it.
God bless you all, and meet again, God willing.
Rabbi Feld.
All right.
One last question for Rabbi Feld. Rabbi.
Yes, Doctor.
Why did God give Mark McGee and all the McGees such long noses?
Because it's very simple. The reason anybody has a big nose, we have big noses, is to keep them in the 5 books of Moses.
God bless you. I
That's
love
so
you.
funny.
Because breathing is anger management. In Hebrew, the idea of long suffering is erech apayim, a long nose. It's, you have the power to be long suffering and patient and overcoming anger. It's a hint on that level.
We'll keep them in there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Love